Hi everybody and welcome to episode 23 of the Pentagon Challenge. This is my first video of the year 2016 and I hope you're having a great new year thus far. As for me, I've had really bad luck with my broadband internet. I was able to upload my precious moment of the year video, so plenty of people have already participated, but if you haven't already, I'll try and get you through to that video as well before the deadline passes, which will be Sunday the 10th. But otherwise I'm just going to take a little seat back and review the third season of the Pentagon Challenge thus far and what on earth has happened and what has still to come. So the league table is what you want to see first, obviously, and it's still very healthy. We have a game in hand over the likes of Black Aces, but the Kaiser Chiefs and all them will be after us as well. But the odds of us finishing in fourth or better seem to be out of the picture now. Ajax, CT are our closest rivals, but then Sundowns, who we play next, they have a big enough lead over us already, and that's with 2 games less played. If I have time at the end of the episode, I'll recap the results against Sundowns and Wits as we hope to continue our cup run as well. You can see how tight it is at the top. Wits are ahead of Supersport United for the first time in quite a long time, but I'm really proud of how we've gotten on. You can see we've been stably in the top half of the table all season long, only dropping down to 8th once in the entire year. But you can see Wits and Supersport are dueling for the title, probably one of their few attempts to become the best team in the country. So it's not something I'm concerned about as of yet, but hopefully in a few seasons we will be contending for the title, whether it be with Vasco da Gama or not. So when we last met, it was this Wits game where we were given a bit of a hiding, which is fair enough, and then the Jumbo Powers, we needed a fitness for our we needed Friendly to get fit again. We won that 4-1, not a bother. But against the Free State Stars, we had another defeat. A really difficult period of games has seen us lose again, and it was cruelly taken away from us, a possible draw. It was won by Edward Mankale, and they probably deserved it in hindsight, but it's just a really unfortunate way to hit rock bottom. Then against the Black Aces, it looked like we'd fixed our problems. We cruised past them 2-0 away from home. Absolutely, dominant to say the least. A very efficient result as well. Against the Kaiser Chiefs, we're much improved. We shut them out and didn't score ourselves, but it's an acceptable result considering how well they did against us last time. And the return game against the Black Aces were actually held to a scoreless draw, so it obviously meant more for them to win points in the league than it did to progress in the FA Cup. So now we have the hardest possible challenge in front of us now in the second round of the Cup. Again, I don't want to be eliminated from this point of the tournament, but we might have no alternative. It's a Friday night game as opposed to a Saturday, so less time to recover and recuperate. So we'll see how that goes as well. Then we have the conclusion of the season. We're still mathematically able to go down, but just a few more points will do it for me. We could definitely get points out of these run of home games, and that should have us safe. But as for my reputation, I'm still only 1 star, but I did get a new qualification which has improved some of my attributes somewhat. My reputation has gone up from 15 to 20, but that's not enough to get a promotion from another club. I need to continue to work on that. And Vasco da Gama are still hesitant on giving me money. We're making plenty, but at the same time the board have been keeping us afloat. They have pumped in a lot of money, and as a punishment, you can see in the wage budget I'm still committing to spending far too much, and there's not much I can really do because I need to have the best possible players to stay in the league in the first place. But we're just going to have to get by and readjust for next season. And then speaking of this season, actually we've had some transfer news. First off, a big blow arrived on deadline day. Ayanda Nidlavu, our top centre and attacking midfielder, put in a transfer request and SuperSport United came along and took him away. So perhaps he could be celebrating a league title at the end of the season. He needs to play more games, but at the same time, at €45,000, it's hard to turn that down when you're in debt and need to get players off the wage bill. But he didn't play that much, in fairness. I wanted to use him a lot more, but I couldn't due to rotation and even a few injury problems such as that double hernia. So perhaps it's a good deal for everybody, but Nedlova was such a good player, and I really, really wish he can come back someday. Then in his replacement, I brought back an old friend, Shikumbuzo Mazibuko, also from SuperSport United. They seem to have loads of players on offer. So last time he was here, that was in season 1. He wasn't too good, but maybe I didn't give him enough play time. And then he's played very nicely in the cup, not so much in the league. So we need to get him fully invested in our culture again. Maybe, just maybe, he will be a top player for us. And then another player leaving at the end of the season is Matistwa. We'll go over here. He's off to Polokwane, which is fair enough. He's getting on a bit. He's going to be 34 in November, so there's no use keeping a player like him on the wage bill if we can avoid it. He's been very, very loyal and dependable for me ever since we joined the club, but I just feel he's no longer worthy of a first team spot when he's going to be growing old, and we'll be replacing him sometime in the summer, which is handy as can be. So we'll go back to that screen and then we'll check out the training. Actually, I've forgotten to do this all year long, so this screen is really handy to tell how we're getting on, and we have the best potential scouts. They're good at judging the future, but not so much the current ability. We're above average. The one thing we're weak on is man management, probably something my character should be able to do in future, but otherwise we're above average in every other department of the training, and we'll take a look at that now with the coaches. So our best coach is this guy here, Hutashawayo. He's absolutely brilliant, getting 3.5 star for attacking. I've moved on to shooting, which is my 2-star attribute. And then we've got Tinswayo Shabalala. He's a defensive coach, but he can also provide the strength and conditioning as well if we need him. We have a reasonable enough goalkeeping coach, and Bradley August is there. He's a ball control coach, and then our assistant manager Frankie Dos Santos works with me on tactics, so that's not too bad. And then we have the other staff as well. We'll take a look. Who did I bring in? It was the head of youth development, this fella. He's actually really good for just Continental B license. And then that's about it really. I couldn't bring in Matlasi Makia. He's now retired due to that career ending injury. That's just the way it goes sometimes, and I'm going to miss the guy, but he doesn't want to come to the club for buttons. He needs to make money. Here he is. He could be good, but he already has a Continental C license, and he doesn't have that many fantastic stats to show for it. So I'm probably going to have to say my goodbyes here and now, but a fantastic player for the club ever since I signed him. So now let's check out the stats for the players. There we go, sorry. So we're going to check out overall this season. The most appearances is for the goalkeeper Kagiso Malambo. He has 19 appearances, and he's been very, very good. We'll check out the clean sheets. He's kept 8, which is very impressive, but he has had a few games where people just buried the ball each and every time, such as Supersport and Kaiser Chiefs. The second most used outfield, or the second most used player, and of course one of the best outfielders I have is Natutuko Radaby. He's just been sensational. I cannot fault the guy. He's such a great complete win back, causing trouble for everybody, and he hasn't been at all nervous going up to the Premiership, so all's well in love and war there. My loan signing, Michael Boxall, if I can keep him on a permanent, I'll be thrilled. He's been really, really good, but as you can see, might demand a lot of wages. that the board won't let me have, so we might wait till the end of the season to try and nick him away. And Bakar Balde's also been excellent, to say the least. 7.39 average rating for him, and he was a rather vague player. He didn't do much in the first season, then just in the promotion bid he exploded into life, and he's continued that ascension, so thank goodness he is still with the club. And then we have Matiswa, Adolf, Skippers, Moyoxiana, Van Gran, Manuel, Wambi, Shalar, Nishingase, Mathabella, all with 10 appearances or more. And we scroll down, some people haven't played at all, such as that third choice goalkeeper Sean McCarthy. Probably deserves to be a little higher. There's interest from the Orlando Pirates for him, but thankfully I was able to get them to go away. Now the one thing you'll notice here is how few goals we've scored and how many players have scored them. So it wasn't like last year when Van Gran was just burying all the opportunities that fell his way. We have 4 tied at the top with 4 goals. So Balde, Marumo, Wana and Ningchepe have 4 goals. Van Gran disappointingly has 2, but he's chipped in with general positive play, and maybe someone will want to take him away from us at the end of the year, I don't know. With 3 goals, Ricardo Skippers, who's probably had to become the number 1 right midfielder from now on. He hasn't had a great season, but still to have 3 goals on your account is great. Juanito Manuel, on loan from Ajax Cape Town, has been brilliant as well, with the most assists in the entire club with 5, and he's also scored 2 goals. And then with 1 goal we've Mazbuko, Labisi, Adolf, Malachi and Sean McCarthy. He did score a goal earlier in the season, but that was in the FA Cup, so hopefully we can use him in the league more effectively in future. And then Nagidi as well, we forgot about him. He has 2 goals, both in the league, and unfortunately he has strained knee ligaments, so he's out for the rest of the year, with in all likelihood. Second in assists after Manuel is Manachi on 3. Balde rather disappointingly has 2. Van Gran though also with 2 assists, and then Maria Sen, who I've kept hold of permanently from Geish. He has 3 assists, which is pretty good. And then where is it? I was actually probably looking at the wrong screen, was I? No, he's 3 assists. I don't know what is wrong with the with this. Maybe it's just overall in the league, I don't know. And then with 1 assist, a few other guys there as well. You can check them out for yourself. Man of the Match awards, Bakar Balde, all on his own on 3. The most accurate on goal with probably reasonable statistics would probably be Ningchepe on 58%. If you want to take a look at the stats screen, you can see he's had 37 shots, 23 on target, 14 off target, and he has 5 goals. So not massively impressive efficiency, but I suppose in this league you can't complain too much. And very, very useful information there if you need it. Then the best tackler, Matiswa makes 5.5 tackles per game, compared to Negomasha, who's also a ball wing midfielder. He makes 5.15. The best passer is after the goalkeeper, Matiswa on 87, Wambi 84, Negamash 83, Ngape has 82, Skippers and Shabalala 81. Then the most booked player, no surprises, will be my ball winning midfielders again. Mathabella, he also plays right back, so he's been a little bit of a naughty boy. And then 1 red card all season for Malachi, so we very rarely have players sent off. Then Radaby's best player on average, Bakar Balde second. We'll probably go Malambo here for 3rd overall because he's played more than 10 games. Shabalala's also been great. Wambi back at the club full time now, that's good. And then the last player on 7.0 or better is actually Van Gran. So it's been a mixed bag for some of our players. We might actually look at who's been the weakest. That'll be important as well, rather than looking at all the positives. Gotta be balanced in my reporting. So Moyoxiana has been upset he's not getting too many games. He's not been things seem to be jumbled up for some reason. Right, that's a bit of a glitch, isn't it? There's no way Mahlangu has made 100% of appearances. That makes no sense. But I mean, Mazbella has not been good either. He's our centre back, and he's been very, very poor. Marumo not so good. Negamasha, Shalar, Sean McCarthy, and Matabella have been the weakest players on average. But that's just a little bit strange. The screen seems to be better looking downwards as opposed to upwards. To know how that happened, but I'm going to fix that and move along. Anything else I wanted to say? It's been a little while since I played this game, so I might be short on things to discuss. But yeah, anyway, Radaby is the new captain. He wasn't too happy to be given the armband so soon. He's still a young man, and I think he's actually moved on from that sort of concern. And then the Champions League, we might check that out. Actually, Sundown should have been in it. Whether or not they're still in it, I don't know. Yeah, it's actually just starting now. So Al Ahly, did they win it again? We'll need to check that out for you now. It's actually Tunis. It seems to be they're the 2 times champions now. So there you are. ES Tunis from Tunisia are the double Champions League winners. We'll see how they did that in a minute. You can see they've won it twice in a row there, 2016, 2017. So they seem to be the club on the rise. And their manager has 2.5-star reputation, which is still too far away for me. So now let's not click the wrong button this time. And there you go. So they beat an Egyptian team last season, and then 2 years ago they actually beat Al Ahly 6-3 in aggregate. So that's quite something. Then Al Ahly, of course, won the first Champions League of this save. So how on earth will we reach their level and actually playing in the preliminary first round? That's extraordinary. And then our support will be for the Orlando Pirates playing against Cameroonian side, and I presume the Sundowns are still here. I don't see them. Must be somewhere. There you are. Sundowns were playing an Angolan team, so we need those guys to progress and keep the league as reputable as possible. Because if we check out the league here, we're the third best in the continent, ahead of the likes of Morocco and Algeria. But you can see the likes of Tunisia and Egypt have their second tiers propping up the top 10 as well. So very interesting statistics there. So South Africa should be one of the best countries to be in to win the Champions League. It doesn't seem to be a reality at the minute for any of the clubs, but we'll just have to wait and see. And that should be enough for now. If I have time, I'll report on these 2 games and then conclude the episode there and then. But I hope I've given you plenty of information at this near end of season point, and we'll see how we get on against Sundowns and the Vits. If you're still here after 18 or so minutes, I salute you, and here is your reward. I have beaten the champions again. A 2-1 victory at Paro Park for the Voyagers means that we could somehow, cause them a little bit of a meltdown and maybe, just maybe, go for 4th place. An evenly fought game. They were of course fatigued, having played their best players in a game already, and they were just able to fight for about 60 minutes, and then they fell away. We barraged their goal, and it was unlikely hero Pule Mariasen who finally got the winning goal, and a man of the match award from Mazbuko as he assisted both goals today, and I'm absolutely delighted with that. That affects the league a little bit as only we played on the Tuesday, but more teams appear on Wednesday. But if Sundowns lose, there are 2 games in hand, and they will only be 4 points ahead of us, so it's just clutching at straws really. But if we do somehow take 4th place, I will have to do something quite humiliating as a sort of token gesture, I suppose. So now let's rest up and get ready for our cup game against the Vits. And not so much fortune this time. We are out of the FA Cup again, and we're outclassed by the Vits yet once more. Not really much to say. 1 goal in the first half. It was a well worked play on the wings, and then the low cross found Liam Jordan, easy as you like, and then Samuel Ules, he was able to find space, and then with his left foot hit across the goalkeeper's sort of position, and then found the corner of the net. So deserved victory for the Bidvest Vits, and we just have to take the €22,000 as a compensation for our defeat. But things are still looking up. There were a few results in the Premier Division since that win over Sundowns. Most of them were beneficial to us, such as the 1-1 between the Pirates and Vits. Then Supersport and Ajax held each other to a 1-1 draw as well. So we are in 5th place, but we're reliant heavily on Sundowns messing up their games in hand. I'll check out who they're against now just before we go. They will play, I think, the Kaiser Chiefs and Chippa United, with someone like that. And then their last games of the season come up then. So they're going to be very busy, even when the rest of us take a few days off for a break. So we'll come back for the Orlando Pirates game at Paro Park. That should be great fun. And if something's still on the line after that episode, I'll be sure to bring it to you. But until next time, thank you so much for listening to me for over 20 minutes. And I'll speak to you when I can. Bye.